Hey, what's up guys? I'm back with the third installment of Song of the Week series, and this week we're going to be looking at Automne by Foray. I started a new job recently, so I've been getting behind on making these, but I'm going to try to start uploading more regularly. The two singers I found were Philip Jaruski and Natalie Stutzman. Jaruski is a French countertenor, meaning that he sings in falsetto, and Stutzman is a French conductor and contralto. I think if you've seen all the videos up till now, you can see a pattern. I try to only listen to recordings done by people who are native to the language of the song. It's like listening to Pavarotti sing New York, New York. Sure, he sounds incredible, but if you're trying to get the best diction and feel possible, it's probably better to listen to an American sing it. This is especially important for me, since I have an irrational fear of the French language and is by far my worst language to sing in. Now, onto side-by-sides. One thing to note is that you speak the French language a bit differently than you sing it. So when my French sounds weird, know that it is not only because I'm terrible at French, but it's also because I'm going to be trying to pronounce it the way I'm going to be singing it. Automne shel brimont, aux oraisons navrant, au rapide couchant, aux aurores pâlies. Je regarde couler comme l'auditoire des jours faits de mélancolie. Tire le lait des regrets mes esprits emportés, comme s'il se pouvait que non trage renaise. Parcours ton rêvant les côtés enchantés, où jadis sourit ma genèse, je sens en clair soleil du souvenir vaincu, refleurit rond bouquet les roses déliées, et montera mes yeux des larmes qu'à mon cœur, mes 20 ans avaient oublié. Autumn, time of misty skies and heartbreaking horizons, of rapid sunsets and pale dawns. I watch your melancholy days flow past like a torrent. My thoughts borne off the wings of regret, as if our time could ever be relived, dreamingly wander the enchanted slopes where my youth once used to smile. In the bright sunlight of triumphant memory, I feel the scattered roses reblooming in bouquets, and tears well up in my eyes. Tears which my heart at 20 had already forgotten. So here's the lowdown on Gabriel Fauré. He was a French composer, organist, and pianist born in 1945. The majority of his music is piano music, and mélodie, which is French art song. Also, he was kind of a grumpy old man. He really didn't like it when performers changed aspects of his music, such as tempo or dynamics. This is contrasted to earlier times when it was much more custom for performers to run wild and try to show off their virtuosity through the augmentation of all parts of the music, actually. I think the verdict of how exact a musician should perform a piece is still up in the air, and that depends on whose music they're performing, for sure. Step 3 is musical markings. There are a plethora of markings in this piece. Andante moderato is the first tempo marking, meaning andante, walking pace, and moderato, moderate. So pretty average speed. We see sempre a lot in this piece, which means always or unchanging. Whenever we see sempre in front of another term, it means to perform the song that way without change. We see sempre legato, sempre forte, sempre piano. Other terms include dolce or dolcissimo, meaning sweetly and very sweetly. In addition, we also have crescendi and diminuendi, diminuendi, meaning gradually get louder or softer. These are also modified by poco a poco and molto. Poco a poco means a bit by bit, so stretch the crescendo out a bit. And molto means very, so get very, very loud when you crescendo. Next is rhythmic breaths and phrase marks. I think the hard part about phrase marks is when you're operating in a language that you're not as familiar with, you aren't always sure where they should go. Phrase marks are supposed to help you determine where you need to breathe, but the placement of phrase marks is often informed by the text of the song. You don't want to breathe right in the middle of a sentence, so it's really important to know what your text means. This is the type of piece where count singing is really important. Automne is in 12/8, which means that there are 4 beats in a measure and each measure is composed of 3 small beats. It can be felt like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or if this helps you understand it more. 1, 2, 3, 4. With this piece, there is a fair amount of melody that doesn't fall right on the beat. This is really hard to look at and know exactly where to come in, and this is why count singing is so important. A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a... Now, onto the piano step. I anticipate difficulty with the piano because there are a lot of times when the entrances are not evident by listening to the piano part. Sometimes the voice comes in on the of 4, but the piano part either has a dotted half note or triplets, which don't really help me when I'm trying to figure out where I'm trying to come in. Step 7 is melody on a vowel. I think this is going to be crucial for me because it helps a smooth transition into the singing of words. If this was Italian or even German maybe, this step would be less important because I can pretty much look at the words and be able to say them. But with French, I have to use IPA and it's much harder. I am so glad that I ended up buying an IPA source subscription because I've been putting it to good use. I used the IPA in conjunction with a recording to learn the diction. I had a basic idea of what was going on from the IPA, but the recording helped solidify my diction. Time for the interpretation step. To me, this poem is about times past and happiness that can be found in mere memories. I definitely understand this, and have felt the same feeling. For me, though, I think this is kind of hard to portray. Often, when I have a piece like this, I either just look really sad or really angry. Although, to be honest, that could describe me singing anything, so who knows? That being said, I'm going to try my best to portray the longing of what could have been and the happiness that can be found in said memories. Next is speak singing. Just as with count singing, it is critical to be able to put the words in the correct rhythms. This is essentially the count singing step with words. And I think this is really important too because this song's rhythms are kind of funky. So using the speak singing step, it's going to help me solidify my diction even more. Automne au ciel brimeux, aux oraisons navrant. Finally, we have melody on text and memorization. Because work is taking up most of my time right now, for this week and probably for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be using music when I perform the song parts of this. I kind of feel bad about this, but I'd much rather me actually get these out in a reasonable time frame than have to memorize it and have the release dates for these videos be more sporadic. So without further ado, here is Automne.
Automne, ciel brimeux aux oraisons navrants. Ô rapide couchant aux aurores pâlies, je regarde couler comme le doux torrent, toujours fait de mélancolie. S'il est le regret, mes esprits emportés, comme s'il s'éprouvait que notre âge renaisse, parcourant en rêvant les contes enchantés, où jaillit sourit ma jeunesse. Je sens clair soleil nos souvenirs vainqueurs, refleurir en bouquet les roses de lierre, et monter à mes yeux des larmes comme mon cœur m'émettant à m'oublier.
The song is so beautiful. I'm definitely going to be hanging on to it and polishing it more for other uses. That being said, this song is kind of challenging. I had a lot of trouble figuring out when to come in because the piano was not helpful for this. This is probably the only French piece I've ever learned on my own, and I think it really shows through diction. My French, as I said, is really bad, but it's something I'm trying to work on. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.